Good morning, everyone. I'm making this video to help people that are just learning about Cisco, about how to configure routers and switches, on packet tracer. The goal for this video is to take my time to teach people who are just beginners, in learning about Cisco devices and packet tracer. So this particular video is going to be just basic how to configure this topology, um, put in the PCA, switch 1, router 2, router 3, S switch 3, and PCC. Just gonna set them up, like put them up, connect them together. Then I'm gonna walk you through the lab. This is like a lab setup. As you can see, there is a whole network IP addressing table. So we're going to do the IP address configuration of just like how it is for the network. And for the goal of this particular lab, we are only going to focus on cabling the network as shown in the topology, and also configuring what the IP address. This is just it for this particular lab. We will not be configuring static routing and default routes, because at the end of the day we should be able to ping from PCA to router 1 and also ping from PCC to router 3, and we should be able to ping from PCC to S01, and that should be it. And we should be able to ping from PCA to S00 on router 1, and that should be it. So the goal of the static route is to help us move from PCA and be able to ping what, router 2 or router 3 or PCC. But that is beyond the scope of this particular lab. So the goal for this is, again, to set up this network topology as you see and assign IP addresses. And in the future labs, we will be focusing on what? Configuring static IP routing so they can be able to see how it works. We can also what? Configure other things such as SSH, and all the different other concepts that are there. We're going to do that together. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to go through this lab first. The first thing is, it's important to know what devices that you are going to use for this particular lab. Most importantly, the routers that I'm going to be using. So they're saying that the router, let me zoom this up a little bit more. So they're saying that in this lab, you will build a multi-watt router network and configure the routers and host. So, but I'm more focused on this. The router commands and outputs in this lab are from Cisco 1841 router. So that means that in my packet tracer, I'll be looking for a router called 1841. So I see one. So they're saying that we're going to use 3 routers, and all of them should be what? 1841 Cisco iOS 15. Okay. And 2 switches, 2960 each, and then 2 pieces. That's fine. So I'm going to pull up 1841. So 1841, 1, then 2, and 3 1841s. We have them up, and then they say 2 what, 2960. So I'm going to go to my switches and choose 2960. 1 and 2. Easy as that, right? And the next thing I'm going to do is the pieces. So I'm going to go to my devices, PC1A, PCA, and PCC. Easy as that, as you can see, right? It's not that hard at all. And I'm glad that I zoomed it so you can be able to see clearly, because that's the goal. You should be able to see properly. And okay, now the next thing we're going to do is rename them according to the structure of the lab. So I'm going to go back up. So they say this is a PC what? A. So I'm going to call it, the display name is going to be PC-A, and close it. You double click on it, config display name. This is going to be S1. Okay, close it. Double click on this, config display name R1. Close it. Double click on this, config display name R2. Exit. Again, or you can just double click on this, okay, and R3. See, same thing. Double click on this, S3, and double click on this, PC-C. Okay, but I just observed something. The PCA is a server, so that means I'm going to take this out. To remove a PC or delete a device, you just click on the device and maybe use delete, you see, and exit. So, but I'm going to use a server because this based on the topology, PCA is what? A server. So I'm going to click on the server and drag it out, and double click on that as PC-A. Excellent. So let me drag these up a little bit so you can be able to see them clearly and bigger, organized, well. As you can see, this is really simple lab. So it's going to teach you how to do Cisco configuration, Cisco devices configuration. So perfect. Now let's go to the cabling. But before the cabling, when you bring out devices, it is important to check to see if they have all the ports in them. For example, if I go to router 1 and check the physical, does it have all the ports I need? As we can see, even based on the physical look, we don't have serial interfaces, but this one has what? A serial interface. So that means we'll have to turn this off and what? Put a serial what? Interface on it. So let's see. Let me check the modules. There you go. See this second one? This is saying that 2-port serial high-speed one. So this is what I need. The second one, that's a HWIC 2T. So I'm going to drag this and put it on it and close it. No, I didn't turn it back. I need to turn it back on, turn it back on. Okay, turn it back on. Okay, then close it. Do the same thing for R2. Go to physical and then turn off and go to HWIC and drag this on and turn on. The same thing for R3. Turn off, go to HWIC, drag it on and turn on and close. Okay, so this is about it. Good. Now let's go to the cables. Okay, get the cables on. So just go to, you see there on the say connections, lower down there, connections. You click on connections, And from there, the connection between the PC to the switch is what? A straight through cable, copper straight through, right there. You click on that, click on it. They said it's supposed to be on what? It doesn't matter, but fast Ethernet, okay? To the switch. What port is it connecting on the switch? You say port F6. You click on the switch and select what? F6, fast Ethernet port 6. I like them to look really nice and organized. Okay, so this is pointing nicely upward. Then the connection between the switch 1 and R1, they said on what? Port F01. So click on it and port F05. So F05 is where it's going to go out from the switch, and you connect it to what? Router 1 F01, like that. So this is how you connect that. Easy, right? This is for just beginner level. Beginner level. And don't worry about the red because we're gonna come to that. Okay, perfect. Now, between DC, okay, this port S00 connecting to what? S00 on R2. So we're gonna get a serial cable with a DCE. Okay, so you can see if we watch the connections, the one with the clock on it. Okay, that's the DCE cable, serial DCE. Click on that and click on this S00. So, but okay, in this particular case, we only have S01 and S0. Let me see if I can change that to one that will give us S00. Okay, so I'm going to go into the device. Let me go back and click on the cables and then zoom out and zoom in. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the device, then take it out from here and put it on slot 0. Okay, let me take it. Each week. Okay, and turn on. So let's see. Let me do the same for this as well. So turn off, take the device out, put it on the list here, and then click on each week again and put it on the slot 0. So turn it on. The same for R3. Turn off, take this out. So this will give us the proper numbering or the serial labeling. I want it to match exactly like the topology, okay? So again, so DCE cable, click on switch. Now you have S00, there you go. DC S00, and you connect to what? R2 S00. There we are. Then we do the same on R2. So click on the same cable, DCE, and why does it have? Oh yes, and now from S01 to what? S001, like that. Okay. Now from the router, we have to connect what? From fast Ethernet 01 to port number 5 on the switch. Port number 5 on the switch. And finally, we connect from port number what? 18 on the switch to PC fast Ethernet. Okay, perfect. We have our topology exactly as it's supposed to be on the diagram. Good job, guys. So if you are following, by this time you should be able to have your network set up like this. Now, what is the next objective for this lab? We scroll down to the what? IP addressing table. So I'm going to minimize this a little bit more so that you can still be able to see. So it's saying that we should assign. So I'll begin from what? The PCs. So PC switch 1 PC. So they're saying the PC IP address should be what? .3. You see? Default gateway 192.168.1.1, switch 1, fast Ethernet 06. The NIC means the computer address. Okay. Actually, so this way you can see better. So they say PCA here should be given what? IP address 192.168.1.3. So we go to the PC, so PCA, click on PCA, and you go to what? Desktop, and you click on what? IP configuration. See, static, right? So you leave it like that. If it was DHCP, you change it to what? Static, and assign what they want you to assign. They said it's supposed to be what? 192.168. So PC 192.168.1.3. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and they said the default gateway is what? 192.168.1.1. So this is it. And just X out and X out. Let me reduce. I want it to be big. Okay, this is perfect. This is good. You can see. So now, then from there we go straight to what? Router 1. Now, under router 1, they said the IP address should be, so this is how I'm doing the addressing. So I start from PCA and I go in circle to PCC. That's my goal. Okay. So they say R1. So router 1, fast Ethernet 01 should be what? 192.168.1.1. So this is the default gateway that we just assigned to PCA. So we go to router 1, click on router 1, and click on what? CLI. And then because it's still enter. Okay. So let me see how to make this bigger. All right, guys. One thing that is important to point out is how do I customize my screen, my devices, so that I can be able to configure them in a bigger screen like this, so you can see properly. It's easy. So the way you do that is you go to what? Options and preferences. So under preferences, you will see what? Fonts. So you're going to see font over there. Make sure you can increase the font size here, 14, 13. I currently have it at 13. I'm going to make it 14, and colors as well. So right now I'm making mine what? My text should be white and my background should be black. That is how I'm doing it right now. So after that, you just apply. So this way, it can be bigger and nice for people to see. So now let's begin. So I'm going to go into R1 F01 interface and assign what? An IP address. So here, click on that. As you can see, so you can what? The first command you use to go into the interfaces is, remember, it's an Cisco iOS, so it has a different language. Okay, so it's command. So it's what? Enable. Type enable and press enter. This will take you into what? The privilege execute mode. Okay, so from there, if you want to go to the next, is what? Configure terminal and press enter. So this will take you into the what? Configuration mode. So now the goal is to go into interface F01. So you type what? Interface F0/1 and press enter. So now we are inside what? The interface. Here we can add what? The IP address. So you type what? IP address, just like that, and then you put the address. What the address is 192.168.1.1. This is the address, and space. Then you type in what? The subnet mask, which is going to be 255.255.255.0. Once you do that, you press what? Enter. Okay, and then you type what? No shut down and press enter. So this way the interface will be up. So if I minimize this, you will see that now it's green. Before it was what? Red. The orange here says that it's still doing the what? Initialization. Once the initialization is complete, everything is going to be what? Green. So I'm going to teach you a different way to assign the IP address for the what? Serial interface. So that you know two ways instead of just learning the commands, okay? But this is the first time I'm going to do that, and the last time. So you click on R1 and you go to what? Config. You go to what? Config. Once you are in config, you scroll down to, you see the interfaces. If you see here, let me see if I can. Okay. As you can see, interfaces, you see there is fast Ethernet 01, fast Ethernet 00, 001. So our goal is to what? To configure the address on 000. So click on 000 and you just what? Put the IP address. In this case, they said is what? 10.1.1.1 as the address, and the subnet mask is 255.255.252. That's a /30. And you click on what? On. You see on here, you turn it on. So this is the same thing as going to the command line to assign the address, but it's important that you learn the commands so that you can be able to use them very effectively. And then once you're done, just exit out. So now we assign addresses to what? PCs A and router 0, router 1. Okay, so we're going to go to router 2 and perform what? The address configuration on that as well. So they said on router 2, on serial 000 is what? 10.1.1.2. So I'm going to go into command line and say now here, press enable, type what? Enable configure terminal, and you type in the address interface. So interface serial, you can use the tab to complete the commands for you. Okay, 0/0/0. Press enter. I'm inside that interface. Okay, IP address is what? 10.1.1.2 and press what? Enter. Sorry, space. Subnet mask, don't forget that. Okay, dot what? 252 and press enter and type what? No shut down. Spelling no shut down and press enter. So that is done. As you can see now, we have green and green. So we go into what? S001 on the R2 interface. So still on the R2, one of the most important things we have to do here is, to go back one step, you just type what? Exit. Exit will take you back one step down. I want us to configure the name of the router itself. So to type the name of the router is what? Host name. Okay. okay, and the name of the router, in this case R1. So you see it changed from what, router to just to what, R1. So this is the most important thing. Now let's go back inside the S001 interface. So you type what, interface again, SE space, and then 0/0/ what, 1. This is the interface we want to go into, and assign an address, and the address will be what, IP address 192, no sorry, 10 dot what, 2.2.2, okay, space 255.255.255.252, and press enter and type what, no shut down. Press enter. Okay, now once this is done, you go into what, R3 S00 what, interface. So on the table next is what, R3. The first thing we have to configure is what, the S001 interface. Okay. S001 interface. Let me see here to be sure it's connected to that interface. Correct. It's connected to that interface. So you click on that command, and then here now enable again, enable, then configure terminal. Use the tab to complete it. Okay, press the tab key to complete the command for you. Then I'm going to change the host name first. Host name is going to be R3. Press enter. So from there I go into what, the serial interface. So interface serial, and this was 0/0/1, and press enter. Then from here we type what, IP address, in this case is what, 10.2.2.1 space 255, that's the subnet mask, 255.255.252. Press enter and type what, no shut down. And if you want to shut down a port, you just type what, shut down. Okay, so this is how you assign the address. Now you can see on our diagram everything is turning on like that. So green, 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 green. That's the last one left. Is what, F01. So we're going to go into F01 on router 3. So interface F0/1, and press what, enter, and type IP address is 192.168.3.1 space 255.255.255.0. Press enter and type no shut down. Press enter. As you can see, green, 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 green. So this is my method, because that way you know what is on, what is not on, and it's in a sequence matter, instead of just randomly doing everything that you want to do, that one. So finally, we go to the PCC and go to what, desktop, click on configuration, and type the address. And that one, what is the address for that? That is a 3.3. So the IP address is what, 192.168.3.3, and press subnet mask, correct. And default gateway is what? The default gateway means the router address that is connecting to the switch interface. Okay, so in this case 192.168.3.1, and then just X out, X out. So Guys, we have successfully completed the IP address configuration of this topology. So the next thing that we are going to do is to verify the configurations that we have done. Please bear in mind, we should not be able to ping what? R2 from PCA. We should also, let me minimize this because this is done for this particular video. So let's make it bigger and you can see clearly. So here, I like to put it nicely in the center. Perfect. So we should not be able to ping from PCA to router 2. We should not also be able to ping from PCC to router 2. But we should be able to ping from PCA to router 1 and S01. Sorry, S00. Okay? So we should be able to ping this interface over here and ping this interface. But we should not be able to ping that. Okay? The same way, we should be able to ping from PCC to what? This interface over here and this interface, but we should not be able to ping what? This. I will show you how to ping that in the next video. All right, so let's do that. Ping PC. So command prompt. Now first let's check. Do we have an IP address? How do you verify that? You type what? ipconfig, and you can see that we have an IP address, and this is our default gateway. Now we're going to verify our default gateway. Again, the default gateway is what? The router's IP address. The router's IP what? Address. So let's do that. To verify, you type the command what? Ping, P-I-N-G, and then what? You type in the address of the default gateway, 192.168.1.1, and press enter. So if you see the replies from 192.168.1.1 like this, as you've seen, that means that your interface has been configured correctly. Now let's ping and verify the S00 interface. Again, ping ping, and then what? The command is the address is 10.1.1.1, and press enter, and you see that we get a response. Okay, but let's try 10.2.2 0.1.1.2. That's the next interface. It's not going to give us a response because we don't have any routing protocol in place. So exit out for this. Now next we go to PCC to verify as well. Command prompt and type ipconfig to verify the address. As you can see, we have an IP address of 3.3, 192.168.3.3. The default gateway was for 3.1. So now let's ping 3.1. So ping 192.168.3.1. Okay, that's the default gateway. Now we're getting response. That means that the interface and everything is connected correctly. Now second, we're going to do a ping 10.2.2.1 and press what? Enter. That is the S001 interface, and you can see that we're getting response. So this means that our configuration for this topology is correct, and we've been able to ping from PCA all the way up there. We've also been able to ping from what? PCC all the way up there. So perfect. In the next video, we will do what? Routing protocols. That is configuring static routes. Please, if you like the video, hit the thumb up and subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in my next video.